The Galactic Council's headquarters floated above the capital planet, a massive space station filled with representatives from hundreds of civilizations. For centuries, they had ruled the galaxy with power and wisdom. But today, fear spread through the halls like wildfire. Admiral Vorkin, a reptilian Xilari, stared at the holographic display in front of him. His sharp claws twitched as he analyzed the readings. The sensors had detected something impossible. A massive ship has entered our territory, a technician reported, his voice shaking. It moves with speed and power beyond anything in our records. No empire claims it. Silence filled the control room. The idea of an unknown ship, one more advanced than any known fleet, was unthinkable. Who dares enter council space unannounced? An ambassador growled. Send a warning immediately. The message was sent. No response. Instead, the mysterious ship continued its approach. It was unlike anything the council had ever seen. Dark, sleek, and pulsing with an unknown energy. Even from a distance, its sheer size dwarfed the largest warships in the galaxy. "They're not slowing down," another officer said, panic in his voice. "Then we stop them," Admiral Vorkin said. "Deploy a scouting fleet. I want answers." Within minutes, a squadron of fast-moving warships launched into space, heading straight for the unknown vessel. Their weapons were primed, their shields at full power. As they got closer, the lead pilot attempted communication. "Unidentified vessel, you are trespassing in Galactic Council space. Identify yourself immediately, or we will." The ship shut down. Engines, weapons, life support, everything died in an instant. The scouting fleet floated, powerless, like metal debris in the vastness of space. Panic erupted in the control room. What happened? Our ships are disabled. They're completely shut down. Then, for the first time, the unknown vessel responded. A deep, calm voice echoed across all communication channels, sending shivers through every species that heard it. "We are humanity. Do not interfere." Every being in the Galactic Council felt something they had not felt in centuries. Panic spread through the Galactic Council like wildfire. Every ambassador, general, and strategist in the chamber stared at the holographic display in disbelief. A single ship, an unknown human battleship, had just disabled an entire scouting fleet without firing a single shot. Admiral Vorkin's scales darkened in fear. "How is this possible?" he growled, his claws digging into the console. "What kind of technology can disable warships so effortlessly?" "We must respond," an insectoid diplomat from the Galactic Empire hissed. "We cannot allow a rogue force to challenge our authority." Their message was clear. A feline-like ambassador from the Vesari Alliance said cautiously, "They do not want interference. If they have technology like this, should we risk provoking them?" The debate turned into chaos. Some called for war, others urged diplomacy, but one thing was certain: no one knew who these humans were. Finally, Supreme Chancellor Ormic, an elder being from the Seraphian race, raised his hand. "We cannot afford to act recklessly. First, we must learn everything we can about these humans." Vorkin exhaled sharply. "We need more than just knowledge. If this is a threat, we must prepare for war." The council agreed. Spies and researchers were ordered to dig through ancient records, searching for any mention of humanity. Armies were placed on high alert. Fleets were mobilized. The galaxy was preparing for war against an enemy it did not understand. Meanwhile, the mysterious battleship continued its slow advance through space. It did not fire weapons. It did not change course. It simply moved forward, as if it feared nothing. Then, another message came. "We are not your enemies, but if you test our strength, you will regret it." For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council felt powerless. The Galactic Council was in turmoil. Every empire, every warlord, every race capable of space travel was now focused on one thing: the arrival of Earth's battleship. But the more they searched for information, the more they realize something chilling. Humanity should not exist. Archivists and historians scored ancient records, but there was no mention of Earth in any known galactic history. No records of first contact, no treaties, no wars, nothing. As if humanity had been hidden or erased from history itself. Admiral Vorkin, now leading the intelligence efforts, paced in frustration. How can an entire species build something this powerful without anyone knowing? A young researcher hesitated before speaking. There is one source, sir. Vorkin turned sharply. Explain. The researcher took a deep breath and pulled up an ancient forbidden text. It's a legend. A myth passed down by the oldest civilizations. It speaks of a race that was banished from the stars long ago. The room fell silent. The story says they were different, too ambitious, too resilient, too dangerous. They defied the ancient rulers of the galaxy, fought wars that could not be won, and yet they survived. The legends say the old empires feared them so much that they sealed them away, erasing all records of their existence. Vorkin's breath caught in his throat. You're saying, these humans are them, the lost species? The researcher nodded slowly. If the legend is true, then humanity didn't just build a battleship, they returned. And if they survived in isolation for so long, then they may have advanced far beyond us. A deep sense of dread settled in the room. If humanity had been forgotten by the galaxy, then perhaps the galaxy had also been forgotten by humanity. And if that battleship was only their first step back into the stars, what else had they built in the dark? The Galactic Council's war fleets had gathered. Thousands of ships from 100 species surrounded the sector where Earth's battleship remained motionless. Their leaders debated their next move. Should we attack first? One warlord suggested. No. Admiral Vorkin said grimly. We don't know what it's capable of. But not all factions agreed. The Zarkan Dominion, a brutal empire that ruled through fear, refused to wait. Their commander, High Lord Craxus, sneered at the Council's hesitation. They are only one ship, Craxus growled. We have an armada. We strike first, crush them, and be done with it. Without warning, the Zarkan fleet opened fire. Hundreds of energy bolts, missiles, and torpedoes raced toward the Earth battleship. The stars themselves seemed to burn with the sheer power unleashed. No ship could survive that. And then, silence. The weapons never reached the target. A shimmering energy barrier had appeared around the battleship. Not a single shot made it through. Craxus snarled in disbelief. Impossible. Then, Earth's battleship responded. It fired one shot. A single beam of pure energy lanced out, silent, blinding, and unstoppable. The Zarkan flagship, a vessel 3 miles long, was cut in half instantly. It didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist. The rest of the Zarkan fleet panicked, trying to retreat, but Earth's battleship did not fire again. It simply broadcast a single message across the entire sector. This was a warning. There will not be another. The Galactic Council members looked at each other, horror in their eyes. This was not just a battleship. This was something else entirely. And humanity had only just begun. The destruction of the Zarkan flagship sent shockwaves across the galaxy. The Council fleets, once so confident, now hesitated. No species had ever witnessed such power from a single ship. Inside the Council chambers, chaos erupted. They must be bluffing. One general shouted. That was no bluff, Admiral Vorkin growled. That was a message. Then, a new signal interrupted their debate. The source, Earth's battleship. A deep, steady voice echoed through every communicator in the system. We are humanity. You have witnessed our strength. We seek no war, but we will not be challenged. Surrender your hostilities, or be erased. The word sent shivers through every species. Even the most war-hardened empires hesitated. Craxus, now fuming with rage, slammed his fist against the control panel. No one speaks to us like that. We must retaliate. but no one joined him. For the first time in history, the warlords and emperors of the galaxy hesitated to act. Even the mightiest fleets were powerless before this one ship. Then, humanity spoke again. "We will wait for your answer. Choose wisely." The signal ended. The battleship remained still, its weapons silent but ready. The entire galaxy held its breath. Would they submit, or would they risk total annihilation? You said. The Galactic Council was in turmoil. Surrender to a single battleship, it was unthinkable. But the power humanity had displayed was undeniable. Yet, some refused to accept defeat. "We cannot bow to them." Warlord Craxus roared. "We are the masters of this galaxy. If we unite, we can destroy them." Many agreed. Secret messages were sent, fleets gathered, and an alliance of the most powerful empires was formed. Their goal: crush humanity before it was too late. But Earth's battleship was not blind. As the largest fleet in galactic history assembled in deep space, the battleship moved, fast and direct, as if it knew exactly where to strike. The trap was set. The combined forces of the galaxy prepared their weapons, their commanders confident that no single ship could withstand such power. And then, the battle began. The first wave of enemy ships opened fire. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and nuclear warheads raced toward Earth's battleship. The sky was set ablaze with destruction. But when the fire cleared, the ship was still there, untouched. The fleet commanders stared in horror. "It's impossible," one whispered. Then, humanity struck back. With a single pulse, the battleship unleashed an electromagnetic shockwave that shut down thousands of enemy ships instantly. Another blast, and entire armadas vanished into fire. The mighty warfleets that had ruled the galaxy for centuries were reduced to wreckage in minutes. Survivors fled. The war was over. As the Council watched the destruction, a final message came through. "We warned you." The battlefield was silent. The once mighty fleets of the galaxy had been reduced to burning wreckage. Survivors drifted in escape pods, too afraid to call for help. The Galactic Council, once the ruling power, had been shattered. And at the center of it all, Earth's battleship remained, untouched, unchallenged, victorious. A message was sent across the stars, broadcasted to every empire, every colony, every world that had once looked down on humanity. The war is over. The galaxy will have peace, under our rule. There was no more resistance. The few remaining warlords surrendered before they could be destroyed. The most powerful civilizations of the universe now answered to Earth. But humanity did not seek to conquer. They sought to rebuild. The battleship did not invade planets or enslave species. Instead, it enforced laws of fairness, justice, and unity. Trade routes were reopened, old enemies forced to cooperate, and a new galactic order was born, one where strength did not mean cruelty but protection. For the first time in history, there was no war. But deep in the shadows, some still whispered. Some feared Earth's power. Some plotted in secret. Because the galaxy had learned one truth: humanity was unstoppable. And if they ever became the enemy, nothing could save them.